What is up, peeps? Now, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my good friend and loyal viewer, Jonah Charlie, who's working on getting me some good fucking primo filterless cigs. I think he managed to find me some Pall Malls, which infamously were Kurt Vonnegut's smoke of choice, because I think those were what he was issued while he was in the army. And it's pretty funny, towards the end of his life, when he fell down the stairs after having a stroke and he was on his deathbed, he trolled a reporter by saying, "Oh, I'm gonna sue Pall Mall because they said these things would kill me." And so people actually published this like across the country saying, Kurt Vonnegut's gonna carry out this lawsuit versus Pall Mall. And he's like, no, I was joking about not being killed by what, these like warnings on the package, promised would be the case. Just a joke. It's kind of like when like Dave Matthews was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stop smoking pot because it's bad for the environment, so I'll have to take up shooting heroin or smoking crack instead." People took him seriously. It's like, I gotta think that, to be a journalist, you gotta have some like inkling of incredulity towards what people say, but I think the desire for sensationalism must override that. But in any case, I got some DMT stories for you. Now you can probably hear I'm a little sick. I mean, my whole family's been sick. All my friends have been sick. Fuck, everyone in the city's sick. Like nature's trying to tell us something. But in any case, I haven't really been doing psychedelics other than DMT and ketamine and a fuck ton of Phoenix tears. So I've been like really too stoned to do much of anything. But did two good fucking breakthroughs this morning, and it's very odd that the entities I encountered, they had just like this intuitive, or I had this intuitive sense of evil and malevolence about them. I don't know why, because other than the dark colors, kind of like these dark red, and what looked kind of like horns coming out, but I think that's a very common pattern you see out of the heads of entities, or kind of horn-like looking things, and I think that's what a lot of people will misconstrue as like jesters or whatever, because it looks like a jester hat a little bit. But I mean, other than that, what they're doing was no different than any other entities I've encountered, where they are essentially just patterns, opening up one vortices into a bunch of crazy transformations into another until it's getting closer, and then taking over my entire vision. And other than that though, I didn't feel like it was bad or anything. I didn't feel like it was like DMT hell like some people have described. Something I don't think I've encountered, as I've had like petrifying levels of intensity in like high dose breakthroughs, but never hell. Stuff that's felt like it's gone on for eternities. Oh my god, my brain's being overloaded by everything I'm fucking seeing, but never a malevolence, like we're sapping the life force from you sort of thing. So I just responded as I always did, which was just to radiate love out. And I remember with the last few breakthroughs I've had, it's interesting, each case is like there's like on the very fringes of my vision, like sort of like the shoulders and arms of a big humanoid figure, and you can kind of see his fingertips sort of reaching out like that. And so with my limited faculties, I would reach out my hands, and embracing them would make the patterns more intense, and what I was experiencing more intense. But yeah, it's weird. The last two that I had this morning were fairly identical in terms of, these like blood red sort of horned entities that, otherwise were just, doing kind of the same thing that I encounter whenever I do DMT. Two very interesting ones I had preceding that in the last, 4 days or whatever. One was I got this immediate intuitive sense of encountering these Irish entities. They felt like Irish sprites or spirits. They weren't donning any attributes that were overtly Irish, like green colors or anything. No, they still had the color scheme I usually encounter, which is blue, red, and usually black and gray. Sometimes I have trips that are just black and white for like the first entity encounters that I have. Just a note on the last one with this malevolent entity. It felt like there was more than one. It felt like there's a bunch of entities kind of crowding together around it, sort of to look in at me. And usually I don't get that sense. Usually I get the sense that there's one big entity and it's kind of like almost like a puppeteer controlling the rest of the entities, where this felt like a bunch of crowding in to see what was going on, especially when it got closer and closer to my vision and was just filling up my visual field with like these puddles of patterns and just opening vortices and stuff like that. With the Irish trip, it's weird. There's that similar sort of intuitive sense of, these are kind of Irish sprites or entities or whatever. Again, I don't consider these physical trips into other dimensions or whatever. I consider them sort of explorations of inner space, my own psyche. But I still treat the entities like they are as real as me or you, because I just want to be respectful, and also it's a weird like crossing my T's, dotting my I's sort of thing. Like, well, if they are real, I might as well treat them like they're real. If what they say about me, fucking going to where their realm is when I die, I might as well try to get on good terms with them. The Irish one was it's interesting, but it's very similar to what I just described. Just without the dark red, the horns and everything. Just entities and this big sort of space that were just starting off, sort of standing above me, looking down in this like massive space, and then spinning around and opening up into more things and more things and more things. And like the entities for me, they seem to take on like tendrils and kind of almost like you'd imagine Lovecraftian monsters to look like, but without the sense of evil or enigmatic malevolence that entities in a Lovecraft story may have, like the Elder Things or the Dagons or whatever. And I think the malevolence of those last few experiences, I think it was just because I think these are very suggestible experiences, DMT. I think the reason people see a lot of what they see is because they hear McKenna or Rogan talk about it, and so that's fresh in their mind, so they see it. And I was watching a video on biblical demons, and also demons described in like the Book of Enoch and the Dead Sea Scrolls. So probably that had planted a seed which had manifested and personified itself while in these extremely heightened states of the psyche, subconscious, and so forth. But I also I had another breakthrough over the last 4 days where I did ketamine too. And I've kind of decided to stop doing ketamine with DMT because, like, for one, it makes the experience so much crazier, so much more intense. Not necessarily a bad thing. Like, really, the deterrent for me is more so that I forget, like, a majority of what I experience compared to if I do DMT on its own. Because, I mean, ketamine itself, like, if I K-hole and I fucking, have my eye mask on and I go into the K-hole, I'll feel like I'll see, like, a number of just spectacular stuff, but I'll remember, like, just a few fragments coming out of it. Like I came up with a story title on ketamine a couple days ago, and I knew I would forget it, so I just kept repeating in my mind over and over and over again, and the story title is Sleepwalking Daydreamers, which I'm going to use in place of the story title that I was going to use tentatively for the story that I've been working on the most right now, which is, I was calling 21st Century Sleeping Play, or Dream Mosquitoes and the 21st Century Sleeping Play. And I think just given the contents of the story, as well as not wanting to give too much away with the title, I think Sleepwalking Daydreamers is a better, more fitting title. But yeah, I'll tell you one more fucking cool experience, and that was I think this is the day after the Dave Matthews show or whatever. I was listening to Dave Matthews, and I was like, DMT, fucking feel free to comb my thoughts and memories and relive this concert with me. And it was literally like I got to relive the concert, which was pretty fucking cool, I must say. Like, yeah, just to feel how much fun the entities were having, and how it just kept that afterglow I was feeling from the concert going for that much longer. And I still feel myself revisiting that afterglow when I listen to his music, especially stuff that was recorded from the concert, because if you look up Vancouver 2022, Dave Matthews Band, there's footage of some of the songs they played, and they're taken literally from, like, they must mean like 10 feet away from where I was, so it was like the perfect fucking vantage. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to share those. Those are some fucking cool experiences. By the way, it was my birthday on November the 4th. I saw Martin McDonagh's new film, Banshees of Inisherin. I don't know, something like that. But I've always been a big fan of Martin McDonagh. I remember seeing In Bruges. That was my first encounter with his material, and thought it was just like the dark kind of sardonic humor that I love, and then the just completely unpredictable plot twists. And I would say that's probably my favorite out of the movies he's made. I did like 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri. It just felt like it was dealing with material that was a little farther than what he knew. And for those of you who don't know Martin McDonagh, he was a playwright before he started making movies. And I've seen, not his plays, but I've seen like animated versions of his plays and some of his short films, and they're much different than his movies. Like Seven Psychopaths was another movie he made, which has similar sort of gallows humor to In Bruges, but was definitely more of a popcorn flick than his other stuff, less sort of weighty on any messages he may have been sending or trying to send through the subtext of all those works. But because I've been sick, my whole family's been sick, I haven't had an official birthday celebration, and yeah, so I'm postponing that until soon. I mean, I got some LSD, so yeah. I think when it does come around, I'm gonna get together with just a few, select friends, a few people left in this world I feel like I can trust, and fucking just have a blast. Maybe, I may not even do the acid around my friends. I may just do the acid on my own, because I feel doing LSD on my own, I learn a lot more, because I am, just alone with myself, and I get a chance to really devote the time of the experience and the thoughts that I have to exploring the mechanisms in which my head works, my analytical processes work, how human beings make decisions, and how thoughts are kind of like these equations, how we come up with these equations in our head to try to figure out what the future may look like, what potential outcomes may happen more plausibly than others, and I think it's fascinating. And I think, this is kind of a tired old cliche term, but acid's very much a through the looking glass type experience, or in that I get to take a look like I'm taking a seat, sort of just behind my senses, behind my mental faculties, and I get to just really, really observe what's going on, like it's under a microscope. And out of just psychedelics in general, I tend to, as much as I find tryptamines to be the more interesting ones in terms of like visual content, because of their tendency to sort of slow down your thought processes and sort of cycle between fast to slow to fast to slow, that it's harder for me to enjoy them, whereas the stimulating nature of lysergamides, as well as phenethylamines like 2CB, are much more part and parcel with the speed of my stream of consciousness, the way in which I as I said, will reach various deductions which will ultimately make or break an action that I may choose to do. And so getting to be slightly removed from that, and being able to look at things through an analytical, acutely analytical but perceptive lens is very fascinating to me. And I can see, though, why it'd be troubling for other people, because other people are so dependent on just having those thought processes and everything as organically there and unaltered, and that they're not removed, or they're not thrust further into them, so they have trouble when LSD specifically goes, no, you're going to take the back seat here, and we're gonna just show you what's going on in your own head. And not a lot of people are comfortable with addressing what's going on in their own head, so that's another thing too. Anyways, I'll keep you guys posted on how all that goes when it happens. I mean, it will be when my CNS and my immune system is sort of closer to back in line with things. And another reason I didn't have my birthday celebration is because my hand, which was already sensitive enough, I accidentally spilled boiled water all over, which fucking sucks, because I can't do anything with my hand right now. I can't write, can't fucking play guitar, can't game. But c'est la vie, shit happens. It's been healing, it'll be better soon, so it is what it is. It was just a bitch that happened the day before my birthday, and I got a very fucking nice gaming computer for my birthday, for a decent price off Craigslist, because I was you know, when I was working at the pot stand, like I saved up like $600 to buy a gaming computer, but then, you know, I had to blow it all on benzos and ketamine because, you know, fucking my boss got cracked, so I was cut off from all this free K and benzos and money I was getting, and so, you know, all that money unfortunately went to supporting those habits. So yeah, my folks were nice enough to acknowledge that and to, you know, fulfill what I had been aspiring to attain. You know, I'm usually not one to get much out of material game, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I've really wanted to play, and, you know, I just got a crappy laptop, so, you know, it'd be great to yeah, be able to play some more high resolution stuff that, you know, requires, you know, a lot more memory and so forth. Like, I'm looking forward to playing Stalker Gamma, which is essentially Stalker Anomaly, but with a lot more sort of features and a lot more high def, a lot more realism to the game, which Stalker Anomaly already had. Like, you could hear fucking gunfire from, like, you know, like 100 meters away. You know, you could hear the kind of the crack of a rifle round, you know, breaking the sound barrier and whizzing past your head and shit like that. Like, and also I'm looking forward to playing Enlisted, which is a World War II game. I love my World War II, World War I games. You know, it's really something. I mean, because I think I just already am fascinated by, you know, how such events could happen despite just the frivolous nature behind both great wars. But this also means that, you know, once I'm finished getting it set up and running and get a decent webcam, that I should be able to crank out some better material, and I'm gonna get some editing software, because I do know how to edit videos. I just, you know, haven't had a good computer to do so with. So you know, bear with me, and hopefully my content will be a little more polished and a little less rough around the edges. Yeah, with that being said, I gotta go to class, so catch you later. Bye. Oh, and thanks again, Jonah, for fucking getting some cigs for me, man. Like, I think, yeah, just if you have any trouble finding out how to send them to me, I'd say just go to FedEx and be like, hey, you know, I'm trying to send this stuff to Canada, you know, here's zip code, how much is it gonna cost me? And, you know, just add that up with whatever you paid for the smokes, and fucking, I'll send you an e-transfer, man. I appreciate it very much. And, you know, that would be another great fucking birthday present, so thank you. Yeah, no pressure though, you know, just fucking, you know, just do what you can, and, you know, whatever time works for you. You know, don't feel at all obliged to put my wants, you know, more than needs above your own. So, you know, I just appreciate what you're doing, period. So thank you, man, and, you know, thank you for your continual support. You know, I feel like you are one of the few people who I can truly relate to, and you know, one of the people who makes this channel really worthwhile. And also, so happy to have hit 100 subscribers. Took a while to get here. I made a fuckload of videos to get here. You know, still a small channel. Doubt it'll ever be monetized, but it is you people that makes it worthwhile. So, fucking thank you from the bottom of my heart. Keep it real.